Today, we're going to be diving into some really fascinating stuff. You've brought us some material about Bihar, and it looks like we're going to be going way back, like thousands of years back. Talk about a place with a serious history.
It really is. You've got all these sources like historical summaries, cultural stuff. It's pretty incredible how much there is to unpack.
Yeah. And our goal here is to, really distill it down to the essentials, like the aha moments. Why does Bihar matter? How did it impact India and, frankly, the whole world? We'll try to do that without getting too bogged down, though. Sound good?
Absolutely. It's all about finding those key insights.
Right. So where do we even begin? I mean, we're talking about a region with a past that stretches back millennia.
Yeah.
Ancient Bihar, that's got to be our starting point, right? Your sources, really emphasize how much of a powerhouse it was back then.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you look at the Magadha kingdom, right? One of the earliest, most influential kingdoms in ancient India. It's like the first domino in a whole chain of events.
And then you've got the Maurya Empire popping up in the 4th century BCE. Chandragupta Maurya, that's a name everyone's heard, right? Bihar, at this point, becomes like this major hub politically, culturally. It was way more than just a local power, wouldn't you say?
Oh, absolutely. The Mauryas, they really changed the game. They created this huge centralized state,
Yeah.
Powerful military, complex administration, and their influence. It went way beyond Bihar. They basically reshaped the entire Indian subcontinent. It's pretty remarkable when you think about it.
And then, of course, there's Chandragupta's grandson, Ashoka. The material really focuses on him and how his conquering of Kalinga, it totally changed him, and that led to Buddhism spreading all over the world. Talk about a global impact.
It's incredible, right? You had this brutal war, the Kalinga War, and then bam, this major world religion emerges. And Ashoka's edicts, they're carved in Brahmi script, and they tell us so much. You can see how he governed, his whole philosophy of nonviolence, this idea of Dhamma, righteous conduct, tolerance. It's like reading a firsthand account from a ruler over 2,000 years ago.
Really amazing. And your sources mention these universities, Nalanda and Vikramshila. These weren't just any schools, they were like international magnets for scholars. China, Korea, Tibet. Can you imagine the kind of intellectual energy that was happening there?
It's mind-blowing, right? Think about the history of knowledge sharing across the world.
Yeah.
These universities were like these vibrant hubs. They attracted the best minds from all over.
Nalanda, in particular, was founded in the 5th century CE, and it was a major center for philosophy, astronomy, medicine. Wow, talk about an impressive curriculum.
Yeah, they covered just about everything at Nalanda. This structured education system, famous teachers, a gigantic library. It really shaped the thinking of that time, not just in India, but way beyond.
So, big picture here, ancient Bihar. We're talking about the birthplace of Buddhism and Jainism, the power of empires like the Mauryans and the Guptas and these incredible universities. It really seems like they laid the groundwork for everything that followed.
That's exactly right. Political influence, intellectual pursuits, spiritual innovation, all of this came together in ancient Bihar. And after the Mauryas, you have the Gupta Empire, which many consider to be India's golden age, a time of amazing cultural and scientific progress.
Now, moving on to the medieval period, the sources talk about a lot of change. Dynasties rising and falling. It wasn't this unified power structure like in ancient times, was it?
Right. Medieval Bihar, like many parts of India, saw the rise of more regional powers, alliances shifting and changing. You didn't have these massive centralized empires anymore. Things were more fragmented.
And there's the Pala Empire, ruling from the 8th to the 12th centuries. They were big on Buddhist art and education, which shows how some of those earlier traditions, they kept going even with all the political upheaval.
That's a great point. The Palas, they brought stability to eastern India and were really active in supporting Buddhist institutions and artistic endeavors. They helped keep those traditions alive, even as Buddhism was declining elsewhere in India.
The sources also talk about invasions from the Delhi Sultanate and then Mughal rule. Bihar became a pretty important place under the Mughals, administratively and culturally. New influences coming into the mix.
Definitely. The Delhi Sultanate brought Islamic rule to Bihar, and with it, different styles of architecture, new ways of governing, and changes to social structures. Under the Mughals, Bihar was a key province, contributing to their economy and culture.
And your sources point out how Islamic architecture and culture blended with the existing Buddhist and Hindu influences. Talk about a melting pot.
Exactly. It's a great example of how Indian culture has always been syncretic, where different traditions interact and create something totally unique.
Now, one thing that's important to note, those amazing universities from ancient times, they went into decline during this period, mostly because of all the invasions. I imagine that really changed the intellectual landscape of Bihar.
Absolutely. When Nalanda and other centers were destroyed, it had a huge impact on learning. The focus shifted, and those centralized systems for spreading knowledge, well, they were disrupted. But even with all these changes, Bihar's ability to influence history, that spirit of resilience, it would reemerge centuries later during India's struggle for independence.
And that's the next major phase highlighted in your sources, right? Bihar's role in the independence movement. We're moving from these ancient and medieval empires to the birth of a modern nation. It's a real turning point.
Definitely a turning point. Bihar became the center of resistance against British rule, showcasing that same spirit of leadership we've seen throughout its history.
The Champaran Satyagraha in 1917, led by Gandhi, that's mentioned as one of the first major movements against British rule. It basically puts Bihar on the map in the fight for independence. It's fascinating how something that started as a local issue turned into something so much bigger.
It really is. You had these indigo farmers being exploited, and under Gandhi, that local issue became a national movement. Nonviolent resistance at its most powerful, and it put Bihar right at the forefront of the fight for independence.
And your sources also name a bunch of freedom fighters from Bihar: Dr. Rajendra Prasad, Jayaprakash Narayan, Kunwar Singh. They all made huge contributions to the movement. It was a long, multifaceted struggle.
It was, and they all played different but important roles. Dr. Rajendra Prasad became India's first president, showing just how much Bihar contributed to the leadership of the new nation. Jayaprakash Narayan was a key figure in the socialist movement and later opposed the emergency. And Kunwar Singh, he led the revolt of 1857 in Bihar, an early sign of resistance to British rule.
Beyond all these major events, Bihar's got this rich, vibrant culture. It's not just about empires and independence movements.
Exactly. Bihar's culture is incredibly diverse, reflecting its long history and all the different influences it's absorbed over time.
Yeah, the folk music and dance. The sources mentioned Budburi, Mathili, and Magahi songs, along with specific styles like Jat Jatan, about love and rural life, Badija, about the struggles of migrants, and Chow dance, which has elements of martial arts. It all sounds so expressive, so connected to the people's lives.
These art forms, they really do offer a glimpse into the everyday experiences of the people of Bihar. The themes are universal: love, loss, social issues, religion, and they've been passed down for generations. The different languages add another layer of richness and diversity to the musical traditions.
And the food: liti choka, sattu paratha, sweet thekua. It all sounds amazing, very much rooted in the region's agricultural bounty. It makes me hungry just thinking about it. So, liti choka, that's still a staple today, right? Like something you'd find in most Bihari homes.
Oh, definitely. Bihar's cuisine is hearty and flavorful, reflecting what's grown locally. Litti choka is a classic and really embodies that rural way of life. Sattu, which is roasted gram flour, is used in a lot of dishes. It's really nutritious and versatile.
And festivals play a huge role in Bihar's culture. Chhath Puja, dedicated to the sun god, is the biggest one, but there's also Makar Sankranti, Holi, Durga Puja. These all sound incredibly vibrant and meaningful.
Festivals are like community events that bring everyone together. They strengthen social bonds and reinforce cultural traditions. Chhath Puja, with its unique rituals and deep religious meaning, is a really beautiful example of Bihari culture and devotion.
And let's talk about the art. The Madhubani paintings from the Mithila region are incredible. Those natural colors, the mythological themes, they're famous all over the world. Bihar's also known for its stone and wood carving. I've seen some Madhubani paintings. They're so unique, so captivating.
They really are. Madhubani paintings are a distinctive art form known for those intricate designs and vibrant colors. They often depict mythological figures, scenes from nature, and important social events. Traditionally, they were painted on the walls of homes, but now you can find them on cloth, paper, canvas. It's a vital source of income for many artists. And the stone and wood carving traditions, they also show the incredible skill and artistry in the region.
Your source is called Bihar, the Land of Enlightenment, and that makes total sense when you see how central it is to several major religions. It's like a spiritual hub, wouldn't you say? I mean, in today's world where things can feel so divided, Bihar's history of religious tolerance seems more relevant than ever, don't you think?
Absolutely. Bihar's contribution to the world's religions is immense, and it attracts people from all over. Its history offers valuable lessons in how diverse faiths can coexist peacefully.
Even before Buddhism and Jainism, Hinduism was strong there. You've got temples like Mahavir Mandir in Patna, Vishwamapad Temple in Gaya. These were and still are important pilgrimage sites.
These temples represent the enduring presence of Hinduism in Bihar, attracting devotees for their religious significance and architectural beauty. Gaya, in particular, holds deep meaning in Hindu traditions, especially related to ancestors.
And then, of course, you have Buddhism, Bodh Gaya, where the Buddha reached enlightenment, and the Mahabodhi Temple, a UNESCO World Heritage Site. It's hard to overstate just how important this place is to Buddhists around the world. I mean, think about it. To establish such a center of spiritual awakening back then, that was a really ambitious undertaking.
Bodh Gaya is the heart of Buddhism, where Siddhartha Gautama transformed into the Buddha. The Mahabodhi Temple is a powerful symbol of that transformation. It's a sacred site for Buddhists of all traditions from around the world.
And Jainism has a strong connection, too. Lord Mahavira, the 24th Tirthankara, was born in Vaishali. So we're talking about the birthplace of not one, but two major world religions.
Exactly. Vaishali is a key pilgrimage site for Jains. It's where Mahavira was born, and it was an important center for the development of Jain philosophy.
And you have a significant Muslim population with historical mosques in Patna. And then there's Patna Sahib, the birthplace of Guru Gobind Singh, a key site for Sikhs. It all just points to Bihar's incredibly diverse religious heritage.
It really does. It speaks to a long history of coexistence and the intertwining of different communities, each adding to Bihar's rich cultural tapestry. Patna Sahib is especially important for Sikhs. It's the birthplace of their 10th guru and a major pilgrimage destination.
One last thing from your sources, they list all these amazing people from Bihar who have shaped India's history and intellectual life. What a diverse and impressive group.
Bihar has this amazing track record of producing remarkable individuals who've left lasting legacies across various fields.
You have religious and spiritual leaders like Gautama Buddha, Lord Mahavira, and Guru Gobind Singh. Then there are ancient scholars and rulers like Chandragupta Maurya, Emperor Ashoka, and the brilliant mathematician Aryabhata. And of course, there are freedom fighters and political leaders like Dr. Rajendra Prasad and Jayaprakash Narayan. It's an extraordinary contribution to India and, frankly, the world.
It really is. It shows the breadth of Bihar's impact, from spiritual enlightenment and political leadership to scientific innovation and the struggle for social justice and independence.
So, through this whole deep dive, we've seen that Bihar is so much more than just a name in a history book. This was a major power in ancient India, a center of learning and spiritual thought, a key player in the fight for independence. And it's still a region with a rich and vibrant culture. From empires and enlightenment to art and activism, Bihar's impact is undeniable.
I completely agree. Everything we've talked about, it points to a region that's played a central role in shaping the Indian subcontinent and its place in the world.
Hopefully this is giving you a clearer picture of Bihar, all those aha moments, without overwhelming you with information.
That was our goal, to synthesize the key takeaways from your material and make this complex history a little more accessible.
So Bihar, this place with such a rich history and culture, it makes you wonder how its legacy continues to influence modern India, its place in the world today. What parts of this past, with all its layers and complexities, hold lessons, maybe even hidden insights for us today? That's something worth thinking about. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.